What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You have tuned in live to the Flyest Sports and Entertainment Podcast in all the U.S. This is Stat Lines Matter. I am your host, Mark E. Stewart. And as usual, I'm here with my partner, Rob Hunter Jr. What's going on?
What's going on?
Well, listen, what is going on is we're going to do a special holiday edition of Stat Lines Matter. And in order to do so, we have joined with us our lovely wives who support us in doing what we do. So we asked them to come on the show. First, I would like to introduce your lovely wife, Marie Hunter.
Hello, hello.
Welcome. And my lovely wife, Judi Acosta Stewart. She insists on hyphenating despite our 33 years of being married. But we're not going to get off on that. Right off top. How y'all doing today?
Good.
Fantastic.
Y'all good? Y'all nervous about being here?
A little bit.
What, y'all scared of what I'm asking?
No.
No?
Possibly.
We're gonna talk about a little bit of this. We want people to get to know you because we wouldn't be here without y'all. You guys have given the green light for us to do this. And so we want the people to meet you guys.
Well said, friend.
Yes. So I would like to know from you guys, or start with you. When did you know, because obviously what sparked me and him doing this is being sports fanatics. We talk on the phone all the time. I remember there were times where we'd be going back and forth and my wife would come and go, how long are you going to do this? Like, how long is this going to go on? When did you know, well, first of all, how long you guys been together?
Oh, man. Long time. I don't know the math.
How long y'all been married?
How many years?
15.
15 years married.
So that means together 20 because...
Okay.
So it's 1 year. How I know, this is how I figured it out. Because her and I would always forget. Our son was at our wedding. He was 1.
There you go.
So we're 1 year younger than our son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he's 16, that means we 15.
Okay.
And when he turns 17, that means we're gonna turn 16.
Yeah.
See how that worked?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have
Together.
almost the exact.
That's how.
Same.
He was at our wedding, so he was 1 at our wedding.
Okay, so your anniversary is always based on that.
It's like April 15th.
Yeah, we know it's 1 year less.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
how we do. But before a long time, I was like, man, we've been married. I remember one time, like, we've been married about 15 years. Ain't we just like a year 13? Like, no. Like, oh. So we always took a second. So we've never been like, oh, how come you don't know? It's like, man, I don't know. You don't know. So we both like kind of don't know. We can't really be mad about it. So, but I didn't know the 20-year thing. So she.
Well, it's probably 19 then. 'Cause
Right. And you guys got 3 boys.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know that's fun.
Uh-huh.
Two play sports, right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Are you what kind of sports mom are you?
Oh, I'm very supportive, but I don't make it to all the games, unfortunately. I try to make it to as many as I can. Very busy with work, but I'm the mother though that when I do show up to the game, I don't want to look. I get real nervous, start getting nauseous, and I'm like, and then I'll be like, "Get the damn ball!" And I'll be like, "See, this is why I shouldn't."
Do you yell at the coaches and the refs and stuff?
No, but I yell at my children.
And she yelled at me last game.
I did.
We got to arguing at the end. And
We did.
So, I didn't really argue.
I wasn't there, but if I had to guess, is you was doing too much.
I mean, it just depends on what that means. Too much, the boy was acting up. He wasn't listening to her, and I came in with reinforcement. I guess a little bit too much boom, and now I'm in the corner getting chastised by her. Yeah, and I'm just standing there just taking it.
Well, and nowadays it's like a 0 tolerance policy at these games. So if it gets too loud, I'm like, you're going to get us kicked out. I'm like, people can Google us. Like, you got to be careful. You know what I mean? Like, there's Robbie and Kingston. Like, I don't want that. I was like, we're attached to stuff.
Then I had to apologize to him.
Wow. But isn't
Publicly?
that distracting
No, at the
for
house.
your kid?
It was after the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was after the game. Anyway, yes. So she tries to, and one of the reasons why she's not there is because we have a 6-year-old who is unruly. And so when he gets a little bit older, I'm sure she'll make it to more games. But most of the reason why she hasn't been there is he's been, 1 year old and 2 years old and 3 years old. And that can be cumbersome. Yeah. And then when you're playing AAU or travel baseball, it's generally not one game. There's one. Y'all know about softball and how that works. So you guys have been a softball family. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. And the traveling can be a bit much. Like we just can't do that. So I'm the sacrificial lamb. I stay home.
Yeah, we did that with our oldest daughter. And I don't know how we did that.
I mean, the boys played baseball.
The boys played, yeah, but then when they really got heavy into it, I was traveling a lot. And
there was a lot of tournaments. Softball seemed to have more tournaments, though.
Yeah.
It was just game after game till 1 a.m.
Especially in the South.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was
they
pretty
just keep
lit.
going.
I never got close to getting kicked out or anything, but I believed in yelling at my kids when it needed to happen. But I never had to yell at mine. Mine was good.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Mine was
a lot
really
of
good.
yelling.
I got reprimanded by the league one time for getting on the junior.
I'm not surprised.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm not surprised.
It's like,
Coach tell you to run off the field twice and you still walking.
Oh.
That's gonna be a problem for me. Yeah. So and I pulled him in the dugout and I was like, hey, you gonna listen to your coach, and I get reprimanded by the league.
Because they kind of like they be wanting the coach to deal with that.
White
want you to
people,
do that at
white
home.
people, okay, are not used to seeing, discipline like that.
Right.
And what I'm not going to do is have my son disrespect an adult at any time.
Right.
And he was mad because he got out, and he said, "Okay, hustle back," and it was twice, and I was, you get in here. And it was that type of thing. And then the next thing I know, I'm getting reprimanded by the league.
Did they throw you out?
Nah, because I was a coach at the time. But I had to I had
to talk to him.
Yeah, they had to talk to me, and I was like, really? So you guys are on me for trying to make sure that one of our players, who happened to be my son, make sure that he listened to the coach and he didn't pout as he came off the field because he made the third out.
But we discovered, though, that this is nothing against white people, but if they say bud or
At the
buddy
end.
at the end of the sentence,
It doesn't sound as
No.
Yeah.
yeah, so I was like, you gotta just start saying bud, buddy, and
Yo,
you can
that's
do whatever
hilarious.
you want because
Wait.
it's overlooked. It's very much overlooked.
You're saying Rob could say and do what he wanted as long as he added that
Bud
at
at
the
the
end,
end.
they
At the
wouldn't
end.
get mad.
Like,
Yeah.
what the hell are you doing,
Yeah.
bud?
That's
You're gonna listen to your coach, bud.
Yeah.
You're gonna run off the field.
So I said, you just
Bud.
gotta learn from them. So you start just say the same stuff.
That's-
and it'll be fine.
wow.
Yeah, bud is
Outstanding.
disarming.
But is disarming.
Yeah.
You call
it
anybody
takes,
buddy?
It takes away the point of what you're saying, I think. Like, whatever you said
Yeah.
before that is just kind of like tossed aside because now you're bud.
Yeah.
Bud.
I gotta ask this question because I know that Rob has a sports media room in his house, at you guys' house, and what was that conversation like to get you to sign off on that? 4 TVs, all sorts of stuff. Like, what was that conversation like? Because I've built 2 of them, and I know what my conversation was like.
Well, I will first start off, ladies and gentlemen, by saying that I believe that was very much inspired by you. So thank you.
Yeah. I can own that.
He kept going out of town. He kept going out of town. And I'm like, why don't you just let us come through the side? You know what I mean? He's like, you're not coming in my house, man.
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm like, we come through the side and then we leave very quietly, like we on the Underground Railroad.
I'm pretty sure my neighbors
come in, we
comfortable, like, wondering what's happening.
Anyway.
But go
No,
ahead.
well, I noticed that it just kept coming up like he was gonna do it, and so I had to kind of wave the white flag, like, okay, well, if you're gonna do it, just make sure that you put everything back the way it was. If we, just do
Right.
that. And I said, if it's gonna keep you home more, and you'll spend less money because the bar bills are getting quite extensive, then I
Yeah.
said, okay, at least you'll be home. The kids can peek in. I said, you gotta be careful dropping all the F-bombs.
Right.
It's so second nature. The F-bombs can be heard all
throughout
the home.
throughout the house.
But
Throughout
I
the
just
house.
said, if we can do that, and he lets the kids come in sometimes. So I
Yeah.
said, well, if it's gonna keep you here, and then I'll support it. But it was not easy. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't 100% signed on because it was just so many TV purchases, and I was like, this could be like in a savings account or like
Right.
new shoes. It just, but then I was like, okay, there's something about the situation that I can't fight. So I'm just going to kind of.
Now, let me ask you this. How is it going? Now that it's done, all of the reasons why you said, yeah, how do you feel about those? Are you still cool with it? Or you like, I really wish he would take this outside the house some type of
No,
way?
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a part of our family now,
Yeah.
you know. And then sometimes I go in there with him and he'll have like something on for me.
Right.
And there's something on for him, but I'm okay with it now. I'm already aware that wherever our next home is gonna be, it's gonna be a similar setup. But I feel like, okay, well then, can I help you design it so it at least aesthetically pleasing? Because it just looked like
Hey, look at here. You know,
it looks very much like a man.
A man did it. Yeah. Now, let me ask you, because
Adolescent.
I'm going to ask you because,
adolescent.
Yeah.
yo,
Whatever.
that's funny. So I've had two of these. So the first one I built was it was what, 99, 98, 99?
I'm horrible with years.
But it was very stripped down because that was before, like, there were flat screens, but I didn't like
Yeah,
people
but
still,
that's nice,
because I had
though.
6 big booty TVs.
Yeah.
And then we had somebody build the cases so it
Right.
looked like flat panels, but they weren't. And then we had satellites on all of them, and that was dope. I really love that. So,
Yeah.
and I remember the boys were like 7 or 8, and they used to run for beer and
They were the servers.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was
and,
great.
And we used to make tips. And then my mom was coming over because my mom lived nearby, and she was coming from church, and I think she had her church clothes on, and they were like 6 or 7 or 8 years old. They were young, and they went to say, Nana, would you like a beer? And she's in her church clothes, just got out of service. And she was like, don't, as long as you living and breathing, don't you ask me. Like, it was hilarious because they just got caught up. They just thought everybody wanted a drink and was passing them out. And that was their way to make their little money. They used to make money and buy little hats, those little fitted hats. You guys used to get those fitted hats and then wait for special occasions that never came up, and then your head got too big. So you had a whole bunch of beautiful fitted hats that never got worn. It was hilarious.
The new air joints,
Definitely the new air
Yeah.
joints.
lids.
But then when we built the second one, that one took some negotiating. That's what is
Wait.
currently
The
now.
Holy Grail.
Right here.
Yeah, because I think you were on board with it, but what you didn't realize is how teched out I was going to make it.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it, with you building it. I don't remember having a problem with it.
The bill kept going up.
That was the only, yes,
Because-
the technology
Yeah.
involved in the iPad and the all this programming and all these hours of work that
And
the
the
tech was
ticker.
putting
Great.
in, the sports ticker,
It's
we
great.
still pay annually for.
Yes.
That bill was crazy. Besides the TVs,
Yeah.
it's the rest of it that costs.
I know,
The
like
trophy cabinet.
I realized that alone to pay for all that and the sports packages. I'm like, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
more than like our regular utilities.
No,
The ones that you need to
DirecTV.
survive.
Man.
Like gas, electric. Like that's more than our necessity.
And DirecTV is not appreciative.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
I've had DirecTV since DirecTV came out, and they've never offered me nothing.
No,
I'm like Little Richard. They have never
Ain't
gave
nobody-
me nothing. They have never given me nothing.
And particularly, and they don't understand the fight that's going on with the wives. Marie been trying to kill DirecTV for about 6 years now.
Yeah.
Been trying to kill it. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute now.
I'm like,
oh, that stupid
can't
sports
you
package
piece
got to
it
come back
together
again.
from between Hulu and YouTube and this and that, like with the new things that came out? But
Listen,
they always
I'm
had that
down.
monopoly on the Sunday ticket.
This the last year though, right?
I'm hopeful. Like if they go somewhere else on the apps, I'm good. I would like to leave direct television, direct TV.
Any little thing that you did, they're like, oh, that's 2 more years contract.
Right.
So then you're just stuck for another 2 years.
They won't get me.
No, I remember one time though, we were all out the door. We had left. And the lady goes, well, we'll give you the NFL package for free. And we stayed. Because she had won. She was like, it's too much. We got the money. And so I was like, fine. Go ahead. She's upstairs on the phone. She's like, yeah, we're going to disconnect this. We disconnected that and
She just
everything.
shutting things off.
And man, that lady, she got on, she talked to whoever she talked to, and she's like, oh, really?
And I was like mentally preparing that he was going to be back over here again once I did.
Right.
I was like, oh, is this a good idea? He's going to be gone again. I was like, but he's going to go to Markdale. So at least I know where he is, but he's going to be gone again. So I don't know. But yeah, that was
It is a very unique thing. I was thinking about this. We were talking about this actually. How on a Saturday I'll come down to watch games, and I don't come back up till 11 or 12, and then again on Sunday.
I used to watch with you
Yeah.
like all day Saturday and
my God,
Sunday,
that went
but
away.
that ended a couple years
That
ago.
went away. It started with like, oh, I'm gonna watch all day, and then it got down to I'll just watch the Notre Dame game,
Yeah.
go Irish, and then it was like she don't even do that. Now I literally be like, I could come down here, sneak out, be gone all day, going to see a whole other family. She would never know because she never checks on me. And now the big rub now is because I smoke. I smoke cigars, and every once in a while I get a text like, I can smell your cigars up here, and I was like. And then I'd be pretending like my phone don't work. We got a bad connect. But no, I am actually one of the few people that I know that get the smoke in the house. So I appreciate you. You gangster. You be looking out.
You are.
Like you really, really, really make this easy for me.
I don't like to nag. I don't nag.
And I don't like nagging, so it works out perfectly.
I drank during the game though.
Yeah, I sip every now and then. It's not automatic, but I definitely smoke. Definitely have a smoke every weekend. Let's talk a little bit sports. And I wanted to get you guys' take on this as obviously you guys have a son that is a little bit more heavy in sports, playing at a high level. My kids play sports, but not at that level. We saw something the other day where Deion Sanders, who's taken a job at an HBCU and recruited I think he's either number 1 or number 2 based on most sites player in the country, which is unprecedented. And we talked about this on the show on how this could be really cool, what he's doing, and then Eddie George going down, I think Tennessee State, and now Hugh Jackson going to Grambling. How would you guys feel if your son was getting recruited and a Deion Sanders type, somebody with that kind of cachet, really wanted him to come to a HBCU versus like a Georgia where I think you went to school, or if Duke was knocking, or North Carolina or Indiana? How would you as parents view that? And then the second part of the question is, how do you feel, because I know how Rob feels about it in terms of it's impacting our community, but how do you feel like about what the impact is on the community?
Ooh, that's so loaded.
Yeah. Because you're kind of in it though, like you have a kid playing.
Yeah. We've had some of these discussions before. I'm not gonna lie though, I struggle with that because I did go to an SEC school. I mean, it's fantastic. UGA, go Dogs. Like, I want my child to kind of follow in those footsteps. I appreciate all of HBCU though. I kind of am sad that I don't have that experience. I actually was going to go to a HBCU first. In the 11th hour, I chose UGA. But when it comes to my child, I'm going to say I would struggle with that. But I would have to just trust the process. I would have to do what I think any mother would, is go, okay, let's weigh the pros and the cons. I'm old fashioned. We can even write it on a paper. Pros, cons, draw it down the middle, and let me just map it out. But because I'm not the expert in sports and the sports programs, that's why I rely on Rob very heavily to guide us through that process. But gosh, Deion Sanders, I mean, how do you not let your child go under that type of leadership? I would feel somewhat of an idiot to go, if that's who was going to lead my child in that kind of program. I would be like, man, who gets this opportunity?
Right.
So I would just say we'd have to weigh the pros and cons, and then I would really trust on us kind of putting all together. Robbie is still very immature, but I still want to have his input and go, what do you feel? I would need a lot of guidance on that.
Pops, what about you? Where do you stand on that, and how would you deal with that if you were literally looking at the situation that the young man was looking at?
Well, everything has changed since the nil deals have come into play.
Yeah.
So before that, it would probably
Nil is
be
name and likeness, by the way.
Yeah. It probably been a pretty tough sell, but given the fact that now you can essentially broker these deals, and of course, Travis can't sign his deal until he graduates high school. But you look at a guy like Deion Sanders. He was actually the very first coach to actually get one of his players to sign the nil deal July 1st when he was the very first one to get his D tackle, get him some money. And so when you start to think about that impact, you start to think about resources. You start to think about being able to have upward mobility. That's what these bigger universities could offer, hands down, and the black universities could not compete. That's all changed. That was a watershed moment. What the nil deal and what Deion Sanders is rumoredly right now, because it hasn't been signed, has negotiated with Barstools allegedly this $1.5 million deal for this kid. That changes everything. It literally changes everything. I mean, so you're taking, because now where these universities were talking, well, we can get you. Deion Sanders has gotten it.
Right.
He's gotten it, and now he's signed the I believe, according to 24/7 Sports, the 55th ranked college recruiting class.
That's incredible.
That's insane. That just does not happen.
Yeah.
Right.
You're talking about, so the visibility. They said that the media and the advertising that he's raised, they quantified it to $185 million in 1 year. $185 million for Jackson State. So you're talking about he's immediately leveled the playing field. So if any other universities are actually, black universities are listening, the blueprint is there.
I have a question though. So the money that money is for, I understand the name and likeness deals. That's for the kids. They're getting that money. But what money is the university getting? Because those universities really need the money as a university.
I think
that's where the disparity
what you'll
really
see,
is.
And this is sort of what I think the trickle down is, to answer your question. When those players start to get better and they start to get big time players that people want to see, it changes the TV deals.
It changes ultimately, the TV deal, but immediately, you're talking about, he set the record for FCS attendance, 42,000 per game.
Yeah.
40, so that all that revenue immediately goes to the school. You talk about all those.
I'm sure the merch numbers went up and all of that.
There you go.
And he redesigned all the hoodies. They're fresh. Like the look
$30 million, right? $30 million impact on the city of Jacksonville, economic impact. Hotel sold out 2 months in advance on game. Jackson. Yeah, Jackson, right, the capital of Mississippi. Yeah. I mean, so you're talking about, so what does that do? Well, that you start talking about now, that raises the property value.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, the broad sweeping. So I think that, and I was thinking about this, right? So could this be lightning in a bottle? I don't think so. I think if another university is paying attention, I think another university on the other side of that SWAC conference should go out and get a coach similar to Deion's profile,
like Ray Lewis or somebody like
Ray Lewis is the guy.
Yeah,
that's another guy that would immediately come in. And now, what TV cameras aren't going to follow or networks? Those games will be on ESPN.
Sure,
because they will meet. They could meet in the regular season, but if both teams make it far enough, they'll meet in the SWAC championship.
Right.
So, you're talking about immediate interest. You're talking about guys that can make calls to NFL GMs. You're talking about guys that can recruit. And that's where the meat and the potatoes, they can raise money. You're talking about guys that are good in the room. You put Ray and Deion in any room, they're going to own it.
Ray going to start preaching.
Yeah, and what black mama don't like preaching?
Yeah. He started preaching a sermon and sending it around the basket, collecting money, all of that.
So, to answer your question, if all things, if my son is 5-star athlete, I'll say this. I'm not saying they would go, but I'm saying I would give a hard look, which before I probably wouldn't, just simply because of the visibility just wouldn't be there as it is, University of North Carolina, a Duke. Now, with Deion Sanders there, it's just, you're talking about real economic impact. And Travis Hunter, he has raised his profile in a way. His name is literally he is one of the names that people did not know before last week that they know now. We're talking about him here, so his profile, it just, it's just like I said, I started off by a watershed moment, and I think that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would totally agree with you on that. Let me ask you guys this, because you just alluded to it a little bit, that you used to watch football with me. Do you still follow? Do you care who wins? Do you have a team? Who are you pulling for?
In college, I only care about Notre Dame.
Nice.
I don't really care about any of the other teams.
Not even Dion's team.
I mean,
after all saying all
right. No, I haven't watched. But to be fair, like that would be kind of.
They don't really come on TV that much.
If they did, that would be a game that I would probably tune into because just the interest behind it. Dion's such a personality and his passion and all of that and everything he's been through recently.
And he'll preach a sermon too.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah.
But then he'll rap to a rap record afterwards.
But in the NFL, it's Bears the number one.
Yeah.
And then
did you come from a sports family before Mark? Did you care about sports?
Yeah. Like I grew up a DePaul basketball fan. Mm-hmm. Bears.
Had you met anybody like him before?
Oh no.
When did you? Was there a moment where you went, "Oh, this is different"?
Sure. Very early.
Like this ain't a normal person.
No, the knowledge just about all of the different sports and all of the like pulling names of players from like generations before. I was like, well, you weren't even alive. Like, why do you know so much about these people in all of these different sports? And then when I started watching games with him, we still joke about it now, because it still happens so many times when he'll say something, make a comment about a game, and a second later, the commentators of the game are saying the same thing. Like, now it's just a drinking
We said
game
we're going to make a drinking game out of that.
Because it happens all the time.
Yeah.
And then he goes in depth about, whatever. Like, and it just doesn't, he'll always say, well, everybody knows that. I'm like, no one knows that.
I assume everybody.
And then we start actually checking it out and calling people we know, like, did you know this? And nobody knows these facts.
I know that my people know the stuff I'm like. I'm not special.
They don't.
I think you probably knew that I was different when we first moved in together, and this was right before we got our industry jobs. There was a like a 3-month period between when we were about to get our first music business checks.
We were interning, so not making any money. Working, I was working, not really making money, but just trying to survive on very little bit of money.
And I was supposed to be getting a job, and you had a job. You were cleaning up hospital rooms, and you were 17 or 18?
That was the worst thing in the world.
And I was supposed to be going to look for jobs, and I would go to Wrigley Field because we lived by Wrigley Field, and I would just go use my credit card to buy a box seat and go to the game during the day, because that's when they played all day games, mostly day.
Because they didn't have lights.
He not only is not going out trying to find a job,
spending money.
He's spending money.
So when you found out, what was that discussion like?
I don't even remember.
I felt terrible because I was like, I didn't feel lame.
It's going to be on the credit card bill.
Yeah, I felt like real.
I can't even remember.
I was like, I hope this doesn't continue. I hope I become a better kind of man, and I did, thankfully. But that was like lame. Like, I was supposed to be working, and I was at Wrigley Field enjoying a baseball game on a regular basis. I was doing that. That happened several times, actually.
So you evolved.
And then I just stalled it out. I never even got a job. Well, no, I was delivering food for a restaurant, but then I never really did that. I was not built for that.
He was supposed to deliver flyers to advertise for this restaurant. Yeah. And the restaurant was right on the corner of where our office was. We in the jingle industry at the time, right? So there was a really nice breakfast spot. He got this job, supposed to deliver papers all in the building, the high-rise all buildings. Of these apartments or whatever. And he would just come to the office, put the stack of papers down, and just hang at the office with us.
I was like, I'm not supposed to be doing that, but
I think you were never meant to work for anyone else.
Nope, I wasn't. Always supposed to do my own thing. What about you? Who do you follow?
Just the dogs.
Just the dogs. No pro teams? No Falcons? No Patriots? You're from Boston, right?
Yeah, I mean, it used to be like that.
Yeah.
I grew up being a Celtics and Patriots fan for a long time. Even when we moved down here That's what we watched.
What happened?
Well, I guess just over time, the longer we stayed, then we started watching the Falcons. We started watching, and it just kind of evolved. But now I'm just like embarrassed about how much love I had for the Patriots. But anyway,
why are you embarrassed? They got like 1,000 Super Bowls.
But there are some other stuff like morally I can't get down with.
Yeah.
But that's all I follow. You know, that's it.
Is it better at home when his teams win? Like are you happier when his teams win because he's happier?
Yeah. Our whole life was predicted. Like
based
my
on
happiness in life, my happiness, and our activities with our family were based on who won for the weekend. Like I'd get a call and be like, "Hey Marie, you gonna come to the whatever party?" I'd be like, "I don't know who's playing because because if they lose, I'm probably not gonna make it. Like because Rob's not gonna be up to it. So,
Would this extend into the week, or this only affected weekends?
It was just the weekend. He
Okay.
had to kind of calm down, come off of it. And then if it was a double whammy, like if the Dogs lost and the Falcons, I was like, we're not gonna make it out of the house the whole weekend. I have 2 kids. I have 3 kids, but 2 are born during football season. I mean, I planned my first son. He wasn't even in the world. I planned his baby shower on a bye week because I needed him to show up.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's
okay,
awesome.
So give me the schedule and I'll make sure that I look at the schedule, plan the baby shower on the bye week. So then when I got pregnant the second time with Kingston, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I seriously due September? Really? Like at the beginning? And like he considered one time not even showing up to Kingston's birthday. I was like, you can't do that, right? Like he was like, well, can we, like what time? What time of day? Is
Having
his
a party at
And
9
I'm like,
a.m.
really? You have to make some exceptions.
I'd be on
for the
that
group.
same thing.
Yeah, I mean, well, the good part about
It's your kid.
yeah, and
And they're going to continue to be so.
yeah, and he don't even know
But
I'm gonna be
Levi
there.
was born in March, so it was like,
My argument was he don't know if I'm
You know?
there or not. He
yes, he does.
it was like 2 or 3. Like he don't know. He ain't gonna remember.
oh my god,
And so it was
so
like
false fallacy.
and we planned our wedding outside of football season. There's a lot of things that she's definitely made concessions for that I'm appreciative of. I brokered the deal early. It came from your playbook. I said, hey, look at here. We're gonna be together. You gotta leave me alone on Saturday and Sunday in the fall.
I didn't say it with that accent though.
Yeah, but it's like you mean, but anytime outside of that, I ain't got no negotiating power. Whatever you want to do.
I was like, I yield, but on I will yield, but you have to do whatever I want outside of those seasons. So if I want to see Alvin Ailey and then frolic about in their unitards and be like fairies or whoever I want, like you gotta come and you gotta participate.
And I know you did that.
She did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to wear the long coat. What they call that coat?
The trench coat?
The long coat like Bill
'Cause
Cosby.
we went to the theater.
Yeah.
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 It wasn't a trench coat. It was a more of a
Yeah.
like look like Quick from Harlem Nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was some people behind me talking. I was like, there's some damn white folks in here to see Alvin Ailey. I turned around, man. They was black as soot. They sounded like as white as the whitest people I ever heard in my life. I was like, we got some diversity in here. I turned around, there was a black at this microphone. I couldn't believe it. So it's just a whole nother culture. Like, oh yes, and the dancing and I turned around. I'm like,
It's great.
you don't sound how you look.
But I was
That's
like,
so wrong, Rob.
not football season.
was, right.
It's not football season.
Along the lines of the birthday party, I can one up you a little bit. So 3 of our kids were born in the off season. We have one that was born right in the middle of the season, October, our youngest. And that was a little dicey just because I was like, I wanted you to have the baby so that y'all could be home before college football Saturday. And thankfully, y'all came home that Friday and I was able to go downstairs and watch. And then we kind of work around her birthday. I never got, I don't know what it was. I never really got caught up on the birthday thing. Because we don't really do a lot of birthday. Well, she managed to get a lot of birthday parties out of us, but she always wanted to do it with her friends. So it was like, I got to
Yeah.
skate out of that. But probably the worst thing I ever did, what we did is we got married on my birthday because we started dating on my birthday. And my birthday's in January in the playoffs. And I remember one day, and this is really sad, she had, because I'm a little bit of a heathen, she had gotten up and taken the babies to church. And of course I didn't go. And so I was just laying around the house waiting. It was playoffs because my birthday is January 10th. And it was playoffs, and I was like sitting around the house waiting for the games to come on. And my boy Tab, who was on the show the other day, said, "Man, just come up here, man. Just come up here for a while. Like you just go back when they get back from church." I said, "Man, it's my anniversary." He's like, "Man, just come up here for a minute. Just pull up." I went to the sports bar and didn't come back till all the games was over on my anniversary.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
I did.
You know,
that.
it's really wild.
She got mad, and she don't be getting mad. She got mad.
Honestly, I've totally forgotten. I didn't even remember that at all.
But you felt. I think
Was
you
I
felt.
mad?
I think you were more mad.
Was I mad?
That I left without really saying what my intentions were, like intentionally while you was going to church. Like it looked.
So I just came back home from church.
It
and you were
looked
gone.
It looked like I had planned this. like I was going to do it all along.
Wow.
And I didn't.
Honestly, don't even remember.
Tab made me do it, but
How
I
old
couldn't.
were the
I
kids?
couldn't offer that to you as an excuse. Like I was. a
Tab
kid.
made me
Tab
do
made
it.
me do it.
That damn Tab to be
But no,
so-
then I was up there and I was probably drinking and
I mean, if we didn't have plans to go out, which we probably didn't. if
not in
the kids
those
were
days
little.
because the kids were little,
Yeah.
and our money was funny. So
Yeah, I don't
we
know
weren't
if I
doing nothing.
really. I mean, what is
Now
there
we
to really
laughing
be
all the way
mad
to the
about?
bank.
What were we gonna do?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we wasn't gonna do nothing, but I did go to the sports bar on my anniversary. Who you guys got in the Super Bowl, ladies? Real quick. Do you even care? Are you gonna have a Super Bowl party? You gonna have people over?
Maybe just to, have camaraderie and be part of the.
We ain't had
but
a Super Bowl party since the Falcons lost.
Oh,
3 years ago?
that was
This
disaster.
is tragic. How I just don't care.
Yeah, I shut the party down when we lost.
I heard about that, Rob.
Yeah. You told that story. I think you told that story on our podcast.
Oh, that was one of the worst days in life.
That sounded,
It sounded
horrible.
bad.
It was
did
one of the
sound
worst
bad.
days in life. It was pretty bad. Yeah.
I'm okay on a Super Bowl.
No
like,
TV's on.
I just don't. As long as Green Bay doesn't go, as long as the Vikings don't go,
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the Vikings.
right? So I'm good.
Yeah.
Like
You know?
who's
I know the Bears aren't going,
who's
so
on track?
it is what it is.
Who's on track?
I'm
The
cool
Steelers,
with.
Steelers have any hope?
Yes, the Steelers are
Okay.
mathematically still in it, but
Right.
not likely.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought.
But there's a chance.
There's a chance. So you're
You
saying
got
there's a
Super
chance.
Bowl winning coach with a Super Bowl winning quarterback. There's a chance.
Or if
Kansas
Patrick
City.
Mahomes goes back, I'd like to see him win. You
Yeah.
know, that would be cool.
Yeah. You don't even care.
Yeah.
You don't even.
Nope. I'll cheer on whoever. When that happens, I'm like, tell me who's in position to win, or who are we betting on here? And he'll say, well, and then he'll spit out like kind of the stats, and I'll go, okay, I'll go with them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Generally, mine is about upper mobility of minorities in positions of leadership. So
Yeah. So if it's like a black coach, we're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Or
When there's no
quarterback.
like emotional tie to anything,
It's
and
an
then
angle.
you go,
You look for
okay,
an
let's,
angle.
you
yeah,
look
find
for
the
an angle.
angle.
Not that I'm anti-white, but I'm just looking for more representation, leadership, and minorities. It could be a woman if she was white woman if she was coaching. I'd probably root for her too.
Yeah, just an angle. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's exactly what you have to do, especially as a Bear fan. I'm actually an expert at finding angles because they've disappointed me every year but one. My whole life, I've been watching since
Hey,
1977.
that 1 year was real though.
And it's
It
just-
was.
And
It was
that's-
lasting.
that came fast for you though. Only 8 years, and then you had one of the most dominant.
It didn't
most-
feel. It felt like a lifetime. We sucked.
8 years is not
No,
long.
when you 7, 8 years is a long time. Like that was a lifetime.
Yeah, but I mean, when it came, they had the song going on in the high
Yeah,
school.
we had a bit, man. The other day, I rapped I rapped like 3 verses, like word for word.
There's
out of the
3
Super-
verses.
It's like 9 verses in that song.
So how long is the song?
It was
The
long.
song is long because everybody got a
Super
verse.
Bowl shuffle.
Peyton got a verse.
oh my gosh, that's
William
so
Perry
old.
got a verse.
Jim McMahon.
McMahon got a verse. Gary Fensick got a verse.
He was Gary Fensick.
Gary
You remember
Fensick,
Gary Fensick?
the safety
And I don't remember him
from Yale.
from Yale.
Yeah, he used to lay hat number
He
45.
looked like he was from Yale.
Yeah, he's from Yale.
He had a Yale face.
Yeah.
He did.
Richard Dent had a verse. Like, it was mad verses.
Dennis Gentry.
No, Willie Gault had a
Willie
verse.
Gault had a verse.
Yeah.
Ah,
But I rapped the Peyton verse.
forgot
The-
about
and then Tricky joined in with me and we rapped it together.
oh my God.
Like, word for word. Like
Yeah.
bars.
So I'm just saying,
Do
like,
you still know the lyrics?
I do.
Course.
And
You
no.
spit?
And
You
no.
gonna spit?
drop a couple of hot ones.
We had to have some drink. Now, if I had some drinks,
They might go
I
down.
call me sweetness and I like to
Oh.
dance. See, you get all them verses. He said, you know what he said? He said, and running the ball is like making romance. That's what he said. That's the bar. It's like making romance.
I bet he wrote that. Making
I
romance.
wonder, did the guy?
Cause that's
who
like a
wrote
little
I don't think they wrote
country
that.
sharecropper. We
Yeah.
making romance.
Yeah, come here, woman. I want to make romance.
I want to make.
Make
I
romance.
want to make some romance with you. I can make it with you or myself.
Yo,
I ain't got no shame in my game.
Yo, I got a joke.
You want to be cold or you want to be warm?
Oh, so listen. So I want to. I wanted to put a little game together. Now I have a really good idea how you're going to do now, since I know that you don't care. I have a game called Real Player or Not.
Okay.
So I'm going to we'll alternate between y'all two. I'll give you a name, and then you tell me if it's the real name of a player or not.
Okay.
Who wants to go first?
Marie can go first.
Okay.
She's gonna be better than me.
Yeah, and you can get a bonus point if you can tell me what sport they play and what team they belong to.
Oh. All right.
All right, so the first one for you is Ben Jarvis Green Ellis.
Ben Jarvis.
Real player or something else?
I mean, that totally could be somebody's name,
Or a law
according
firm?
to some of our culture.
Yeah.
Could be a law firm, but Ben Jarvis just sounds like somebody you know.
Ben
wanted
Jarvis Green Ellis.
to hook up their grandpa and pay homage to him, and maybe their brother or something like that. So
They did smash
Oh,
two
their uncle.
names into one name, Ben and Jarvis.
And if it's a real name, Ben, and then Jarvis.
Yeah.
Like Ben is just like it's not.
oh no,
offensive.
there is a middle name. Ben Jarvis. Is there? A
No,
middle
Ben Jarvis is one name, and then Green Ellis is like Acosta Stewart. It's like hyphenated.
You just know a
That's a
slave.
real. That's I'm going with real name Regis. Probably plays football.
Real name, plays football. And he played football. I don't think he plays anymore.
Have no clue for what.
All right, no bonus point allowed.
But you got it.
That was good.
That's a good catch.
Oh,
I
nice.
went to LSU.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Coco Crisp.
Real baseball.
Bonus point. What team? Or any of his teams?
That's really, really.
Feel like
sick with it.
he had a red uniform sometime somewhere.
I think most notably, I want to say the Indians, but somebody can look that up. Indians. Okay.
Oh,
So that's two for
There's
two.
red in there.
That's solid though. I
Yeah.
mean, you wasn't even. Yes. Yeah. Cocoa Crisp.
Milton Bradley.
That
no.
sounds like a cereal.
That is a fake name. That is the name.
That is
Game producer.
It is a
Right?
game producer, but it also is a real name of a baseball player.
No, it is not.
Yes.
Yeah, Milton Bradley.
Okay.
He black too.
Yeah, he's black.
What?
Who does he play for?
That was a trick.
He used to
question.
play, I think also for, I want to say for Cleveland.
Oh,
That's a trick
Yeah.
question.
Yeah,
huh.
You did that on purpose.
I did.
Milton Bradley. That was a good one too.
Okay, I have one for you. The Carious Keys.
I'm gonna laugh at all of them.
The Carious Keys.
If it's a real name, I haven't heard of him.
Why would
so
you
sorry to
do
this
that
man.
to the Carious?
The Carious.
The Carious?
The Carious.
Ah, that's just sad. I hope that's not real.
That is real.
Oh,
I think he just got called
the
up.
Carious?
The Carious. He just got called up from somebody's practice squad this week.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, I wish him all the
Well, we
success.
want to send a shout out to the Carious family.
No,
keys.
we don't.
The keys,
They
the-
need to
the
go back to the
Carious
drawing
keys.
board. Give them nicknames.
Yeah,
Something.
congratulations on your youngin' getting called up.
Does he have a nickname? He needs a nickname.
Shout out to I didn't put the graphics up of the Carious.
The Carious Keys.
The Carious.
All right. Yours. Fabian Assman.
No.
Can I have the word of origin?
Fabian Assman.
Assman? Like ASS?
Yes, ASSMAN.
Gosh.
Porn star or athlete?
That's not real.
That is real.
No.
Ah.
He's a soccer
I mean, he
player.
can't do anything about his last name.
Yeah.
Then it's probably
Okay, so
Asman.
what country?
It might have been.
Is it
I'm not really
Asman?
sure. I'm not really sure.
That matters, right?
Yeah, but it's. I mean,
It's the pronunciation. It's Asman.
it could be.
Threw me
I'm
off.
gonna go with that. That's his first name is Fabian, so it's probably
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
Okay, I have one for you. Dick Trickle.
No. Just no.
Dick Trickle. Dick.
It's the worst.
You keep saying it just to say it.
Dick
Heels,
Trickle.
neck, trickle, down.
Everyone else has been a real name. I don't want to say this is a real name. No, it
What if
can't
the first
be.
name is really Richard?
But then, if
His
your
dick
last
is
name is
Richard.
Trickle, why would you name your son that?
Dick.
That's
What's
just
up?
Dick.
Mean parents.
What's your name?
No.
Dick.
Dick.
You want some?
I'm good. I'm hoping that this is not real.
That is also a real name.
No.
NASCAR driver.
No.
Former NASCAR driver. Dick Trickle.
DICK. Just in case y'all didn't know how to spell.
So he's white,
Yes.
Oh man.
and his parents, their
I'm
family
sure-
name was Trickle.
Trickle. And they went on and said Richard.
Oh yeah.
And then said Dick.
That mom
Right, they didn't have to call
being
him
pregnant
that.
or something. She was like, "I'm name his."
They could have
ass
tried to
Dick
stick
Trickle.
with
How you
Richard.
like that.
Richie.
Richie
Something.
Trickle.
Oh,
Dick.
But they said Dick.
okay. Well,
Okay,
they
I got
deserve all
another
that.
one for you. This is one of these cultural names, but it could be made up.
Okay.
Latavius Simmons.
No anymore.
Latavius Simmons.
It's all blending together. These names. Lacavius.
Latavius.
I mean, that could be a real name for some of us. Simmons, that's a common. Okay, so maybe yes.
Yes. Offensive lineman, Chicago Bears.
Oh, I didn't even know him.
I didn't get any bonus points.
Yeah.
though. Too much.
Okay.
Too much brain power.
All right.
So we got two more. God Shamgod.
That sounds familiar.
God, what sport would he play?
God, Shamdod.
God, Sham God.
Shamgod.
But no, I haven't heard.
That just he be praying if he's alive.
Someone named their son God.
Yeah.
God.
My
Try
cousin's
If
name
true.
is Pharaoh. I mean,
Sparrow's nice
No,
though.
Pharaoh.
Oh, Pharaoh. Oh,
Yeah.
like PH.
like
Pharaoh?
yes, like spelled like that.
Wow. Okay.
But and what if he working?
So I'm gonna say this
Your
is
name's
real,
Pharaoh.
but who is
You
he?
put that on the application, Pharaoh.
Why does it sound familiar?
God Shamgod was a pretty good player. He's a New York East
Yeah,
Coast
basketball
legend.
player. Yeah, and he had a move
He
called
had a
the
move
Sham God.
called the Shamgod, yeah.
Wait, so this is real?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
real guy.
Oh snap!
What era? Like who?
This was 90s?
Late 2000s, early 2000s.
Early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s.
God, Sham God. I mean, he's like that's a move that guys still try to do to this
Yeah,
day.
like he had it,
Very
yeah.
popular. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
He
like
was,
along like Sebastian Telfair type of
Yeah.
time. If you don't know who that is, it's the
do.
same. You do. Oh, there you go. Drafted by the Celtics.
last one of another cultural name, but you gotta dig deep for this one.
Okay,
Janoris Jenkins.
like JOHN. John.
Janoris
That would
Jenkins.
be,
feel like I'm
how do you
spelling
spell
bee.
all these, right?
She said country of origin. Like the spelling bee. Can you use that in the
Fulton
sentence?
County is the country. of origin.
Janoris, if you don't get in this house, boy.
John Norris.
But you don't put the S on it. Jannar.
Right.
Norris Jenkins.
Yeah, there's no S. Jannar.
That could be a real person.
Janari, especially when you say it like that. Janari.
Janaris.
Janaris
But you're not gonna put
Jenkins.
the S on it. It's just Janari.
One of Miss Jenkins' boys.
Daddy used to run numbers.
Gosh, I have no idea. It's just stressful. Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
For the Steelers now.
Yeah, plays for the Steelers.
What about?
right now?
He's current, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he made the tackle to save the game against the Titans.
Yeah.
A great tackle.
Janaris. Okay.
There's some names out there.
JJ.
Some of these guys got some real names.
Those
So-
were all real then.
What would
you
be,
didn't throw
what
in
would be
any
your
fake ones.
I didn't
cultural
throw-
football name? What would you name yourself culturally?
If I could come back as a player, like, and guarantee I'll be in the league, golly, that's funny. I had never thought of that.
If you know your kid's going to be in the league, it's almost like you get a pass to just come up with whatever kind of
Like
name
the
you want.
coldest.
You know, there's a player named the coldest to ever do it.
That's his birth name.
That's his birth name.
On
His,
his birth
first name is the coldest, and his middle name is to ever do it, and his last name is like Williams or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Coldest Williams.
from Baton Rouge, I believe.
There's no question he's from Baton Rouge.
The coldest to ever do it.
I mean, what if he didn't make it?
Well, I asked that question initially when we had this on our podcast, I believe. Oh no, this was in the middle. But I was like, what if he, is working at, if he can never be a scientist, he can never be, he's got one thing, and she knew because he actually committed to LSU. He decommitted to LSU.
Yeah.
But he's actually pretty good. But that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, he got one thing he could do. Or if he was a pimp,
The coldest.
if he was a pimp, that would be so fire. Like there's a 2 job description for the coldest. That's though he ain't got nothing to do with it, right? She could have named him Peter Parker. Who knows? But what is on the mama's mind? What? How did you arrive there for your
Thought
child?
she was naming him for success in something.
But okay. Let's say you think that. How do you think that?
Well,
How do you grow up and you think that this? That's why I said I know we did do that. Cause I said on the podcast there should be a black person in there clearing all the names for the baby.
A clearance house.
Yeah, to represent.
A clearing house.
Well, so what are you gonna name your baby? You'd be like, I'm gonna name Quintoris. No,
And you'd be like, give us a minute.
No,
and then they go back.
yeah, that didn't clear the
Yeah,
Black
that didn't
People
clear.
Name Association.
Yeah, it didn't
So
clear.
go to another one.
Yeah.
And we have some suggestions.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, you can't really knock people for how they name their kids, but
I can.
when you say the coldest, you pretty much putting them on the football field.
Jadavion
Yeah.
Clowney.
Yeah, but he's so, I wouldn't say nothing about him.
I know. I remember I said that. Like, I need to, because he live in South Carolina. He could pull up on me,
Yeah. Like,
and I don't want him to pull up on me.
nah, he's still
sorry,
mean.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
man.
He's still mean.
He's like really huge, right?
Oh man.
yeah. And he's and aggressive.
And his hair look aggressive.
Yeah, he has aggressive. Yeah, he has aggressive locks. Yeah, he does.
And he plays defense.
Yeah.
Aggressively.
Yeah, he get at you.
Just in the yes. Thank God for
I
football.
think Jadavion's last name makes it somehow work. I mean, Clowney, when you put them together,
It doesn't sound. Yeah, it
You know
sounds
what I
good. It does have a flow.
like
I don't like it.
Davion. You kind of just. I mean, there are so many names. You kind of
But
go,
hey.
oh, you liked this name and you liked this name and you didn't want to choose.
Yeah.
So,
You
but
just put 'em
Counselor Jadavion Clowney, does that work? Represent
Neurosurgeon.
Could be.
neurosurgeon
Jadavion Clowney.
or Quintoris.
No, Jadavion Clowney for a doctor, you could pull that off.
I think so.
My doctor was Dr. Red Cross.
No way.
He was
He was a brother too.
Red.
His last name was Red Cross.
Cross
Now I'd be like,
Red.
Oh,
I'm
the
totally
whole
gonna be
last
fine.
name. Oh, okay, it wasn't
Be fine.
like Red Fox. It was like Red Cross.
Actually,
it was,
I don't know because I never
Okay.
looked. I was just like, it's Dr. Red Cross. I'm like, what's happening? Dr. Red Cross?
Oh, they did your
Yeah, my appendectomy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
man. You look
Well, thank you.
Considering-
very much. Hey, man, I talk about
considering you was in the hospital.
Wolverine.
What 3 days ago?
Yeah, the surgery was Wednesday,
Thuggery, straight thuggery.
Thursday. Yeah,
Thursday.
And now look at you back.
man. If it wasn't for her, she seen me laying on the couch. I was trying to.
You know what's funny? My mom said she saw you on the podcast looking uncomfortable.
Wince, yeah, I did.
Oh, see.
Wow.
She says she saw that. And my mom be always seeing. She sees the illness and the sickness and the pain. Like
She should have been a doctor.
yeah, I was like, you need to see me getting some money. Like why? Like it looked like it was something wrong with. I knew he looked funny. I was gonna call you and tell you that Rob didn't look well.
I watched it. I watched the podcast.
She
after
said
I got
that.
out, and I was like, "Wow, you can see me wincing."
Yeah, she said that. Mom went on
I
the
was
call
trying
that.
to hide it, but I didn't. But I didn't know my appendix was finna burst.
Right?
Yeah, my son had that too. He had that, and we had to take him on down there. They took it out. He came home in a couple hours. He was super thuggery with it. Like,
Nah, I was laid up, and I wanted to come.
cause you
home.
older, they gotta watch you. you kind of old now.
75.
Yeah, I wanted to come home though, but they was not having it. It wasn't even a question.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it wasn't even a question. I was gonna come home the next day, but they let me out early in the morning. But they were like, we still got to run. Anyway, whatever.
So, you guys got big Christmas plans. You guys got a big Christmas. What's your Christmas tradition? What are you guys gonna do?
So traditionally, we kind of prep for the day before. On Christmas Eve, my brother-in-law comes over. We got the music going. Rob always puts music on. We have some drinks flowing. And then, we're prepping for the next day.
Do you do your rapping?
Yeah,
Or
prepping.
you
She's
already
talking
done your
about
rapping?
Food prepping. We do a
Right.
bunch.
Food prep, wrap, and then, yes, I get up early. I get up before everybody else. I go to bed the last as well. So I'm usually functioning on about 2.5 hours of sleep.
That
on
makes for a
Christmas
fun day.
Yeah.
But get the coffee going, and then the kids will kind of come down and open up Santa's gifts.
We
But
talked about that.
then,
Yeah, we do the Santa thing.
We have
We
two
talked about
trees,
the Santa.
and so we'll pull the trees over. I mean, we'll pull the gifts from the other tree into the main tree, and
Okay.
then I'll start cooking brunch again. I mean, I'll start getting brunch ready, and then people start coming over and they bring all their gifts, and then Rob acts as Santa. And then
You put the suit on?
I put the hat on.
Put the hat on?
and he
Okay.
passes out
And you pass it out?
stuff.
Yeah. I try to, give everybody a moment. You don't want to pass out like, oh, here's a gift. Like,
Yeah.
you don't want to pass out 3. You want, you got the, particularly if it came from someone else, because you want that person to see that person open up that gift. So
And traditionally too, we do a big gift at the end that we let time go, so it's like no one's ever expecting it every time. I don't know how everybody does this every time. We do a big gift, but we'll act like all the gifts are done. But no one ever knows.
And then
They
you bring
fall
in
for it
something
every
big.
time. Yeah, so we're doing that again. And then we've just started to integrate a new tradition from my Jamaican side, which was there's these all these beautiful gifts, and then somebody gets a nice old raggedy, nasty, linty shoe.
Wow.
it's wrapped up in this beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh.
thing in it.
Well, who
No
gets
one
it
knows
though?
who's gonna
I think
get
it's
it.
a terrible tradition, but they
Oh
used
my
to
gosh,
do it.
it's amazing.
No, it's like
I
Santa.
got it last time.
And that's like, but nobody shows up with the real gift. That's it.
No, somebody
Yeah.
gets basically a gag gift.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
a
But
gag.
what we do though is like, say for instance, y'all came over, we have generic gifts. So if they come, we didn't know they were coming. We still have gifts for everyone that comes.
Yeah, I
wow.
buy
So-
extra gifts so that everybody can have something.
That's
Wow.
outstanding.
So he
so
wouldn't be
thoughtful.
expecting to get a gift, and then under the
Right.
tree, I would be like, Seth.
Oh man.
Yeah, give him a gift.
So I'm
yeah.
always taking inventory just in case some people we don't know are there, and I have them wrapped. So we just put in it, just things like candles or
thoughtful.
gift
Yeah,
cards.
so
that are
she'll
just-
be up there. I'll be like, hey,
that's
Seth, Seth and Maya just showed up, and so we need to get 2 more gifts ready for them. They'll be like, okay. And
That's
Why don't you do nothing like that?
beautiful, and that's like the amount of like just thinking ahead and planning. That's
well, it was because
wonderful.
people like kept showing up, like to our every year there'll be new people coming, and so you
like
passing out-
unexpected.
yeah, you passing out gifts and they don't have anything, and so
Right.
go okay. So
Wow.
Oh, that
awkward.
kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
and
them,
then
so.
the look on their face when they didn't. they're
Yeah.
like, oh, you had that one for me. Like, yep, we knew. Santa knew.
That's dope.
That's so cool. Like, yeah, ours is.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
even
not
want to
that
say what we do. Like,
I'm sorry, you're about to have a whole bunch of fun.
nah. I mean,
I said nah.
well, we kind of our
We always
Christmases
have
have
fun.
always been basically the same. It's a lot of family, and the family's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. you know, because it's like my cousins and their kids, and like it's just massive. And food and
Love
drink.
the food, man. Yeah.
A lot of food.
In terms of, but that's Christmas Eve. We're doing that Christmas Eve this year. This is the first year. And then we were talking about Christmas Day. We're going to do something here. We did a grab bag for the first time.
How did that go?
Second time. We did first time last year, right?
Yeah.
It went good.
What's the grab bag?
It's just everyone in the family like draws a name.
Draws a name, and then
blindly,
you have to get something specific for that person that you draw.
Yeah.
But we did it out of the.
Because we weren't really
people
big,
here.
like we don't really do gifts. Like Christmas wasn't like make sure everybody has a gift. It's never really been that kind of focus for us because we kind of do things for each other all year.
Yeah.
So it's. And we never did the whole Santa thing with our kids either. So it wasn't, we never kind of.
Yeah.
She said, oh.
I tried to end it with Levi. She was not. She was just.
I just couldn't do it. I couldn't, like, lie to my kids. Like, I felt, I just can't do it.
It's not lying.
It's just going along with something.
I couldn't do it.
I mean,
Did you grow up with Santa or no?
No.
Well, then there you go. I mean,
and I'm sure that's part of it.
Joy.
But my parents did lie to me about the three wise men because I'm Mexican. So we grew up celebrating on the night of January 5th going into January 6th.
Oh, the insurrection. you guys celebrate the insurrection.
Nice job.
Yeah.
So the story is the three wise men. They're now very, very, very old. So you put your shoe outside your door, and the old three wise men would come, take your shoe, hide it somewhere in the house, and in the morning you get up and you go find it, and you've got some gift along with a letter from whichever wise man was assigned to you. So like if you were the oldest in the family, you got the oldest one. And they would write to you in shaky handwriting in Spanish, telling you that you were a good kid or maybe you needed to work on your school more or whatever.
I like this.
But the most important message was on there was, and speak more Spanish.
Oh.
And then you
y'all
have
didn't
your
do
gift.
that.
No, we didn't. We didn't
carry
do
that.
I didn't do
No.
it enough with
That's
our
very
kids.
similar
But
to
I love
Canada.
that story
It's similar.
until we busted our parents.
So wait a minute. You said till you're very old. How teenage?
Oh, yeah. Maybe like, I don't know, 11 or so.
Okay.
Did you catch them writing? See, for me, I caught
No,
my parents
I never
wrapping my gifts. I was like,
Our gifts was a bunk bed. They were putting a bunk bed together in the middle of the night. They had convinced
That's
us to
awesome.
all sleep in like over here while they put the bunk bed together. And then we caught them putting it together. And they're like, no, we ran into them in the hallway and scared them off. And now there's a part missing.
That was
It
terrible.
was just silly.
Yeah, and nobody ever did that for us. We didn't get any lies. We was just, here's your Christmas presents, and I was cool with it.
I was okay with the
And I was
presents coming
actually,
that way.
huh?
Santa?
No,
Never?
No, we.
Or you just don't remember?
No, my parents didn't play them games with the Santa thing. Like I don't know what it was because I wouldn't have believed it because I was like a
Oh,
kid.
God,
like
no. He would have never
I
fallen
would
for
have
it.
been like, this isn't feasible.
Yeah.
Like, how could he? Because even that was my thing. Even when I was like 3 or 4, I was like, well, how can he get presents to everybody? And nobody ever had a good answer. Like, I'm like, it's different time zones. It's like, what's going on? Like, what we
All
doing?
the little Christmas Santa stories that you tell or could think of to tell,
could
they
shoot 'em up.
never
Yeah.
would have worked
It
out.
would have never, because I'd been like, no, because then this and that. Like, I solved the riddle.
Okay.
Like, I was just a different type of kid. But I'm like, I live with that skepticism to this day. Like, I'm skeptical of everything and everybody.
That's when you
So-
stump your parents and you're just like, just believe it. Just
You
No,
can't,
like
you
I
can't
used to-
surprise
my mom was
this
a
man.
my mom was a single mom. I
Even
gave
now.
her such a hard time.
Nah, my
Like
dad.
I gave her a hard time with everything. Like I questioned all her choices, like what food she bought. I remember one time I told her I guess we were probably struggling on money. Of course, I didn't know that. I was like maybe 7. And she bought some brand that I didn't like. And I'm very brand specific even to this day. And I was like, I told her, I said, a bargain isn't a bargain if kids don't eat it. and like, I was just like, I was so out of pocket. And I used to get whoopings because I wouldn't stop. I would just keep going.
That could have been a tagline for someone,
That's pretty smart.
you know,
Yeah,
big
bargain
brand.
isn't a bargain and we don't eat it.
Yeah. Like, I've just been that person my whole life.
You just wasted money.
Yeah, you're just giving money away. Anyways, well, listen, man, this has been super fun. having you guys on. We were thinking about what to do leading into the holidays, and it was actually, we wanted to really let people know who we were, and in order to know who we were, we have to be able to show you guys, because we are such a big part of what you guys, your support. We couldn't do this if it wasn't for you guys' support. So thank you. We
I tried to
appreciate
get
you
my
guys for being
side
on.
chick. She couldn't make it. She's way funnier than this one.
That's hilarious. That is so funny. Well, listen,
Baby.
like always, I always say, if you're still listening, God bless you. We appreciate you tuning in. Like always, check in on our YouTube, subscribe, like, and get the notifications. Also, check in on our Instagram, our Facebook, our TikTok at Statlines Matter. As usual, we wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and all that stuff. And we will continue to be back with our special brand of sports and entertainment talk on Statlines Matter. Take care. Peace.
Bad boy. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face. I ain't come for games. Say it to my face. Say it to my face.